I could sit here and talk about behavioral science and persuasion all day. I've worked with brands doing hundreds of millions, helping them improve conversions and all of that. But one of the biggest problems I see that these brands make, and I see it all the time, and it's an easy problem to solve, is that businesses basically just copy each other. If you look online right now, you scroll through your YouTube, you scroll through your Instagram, right? You see all these gurus giving all this advice, and it's the same tactics, the same strategies, just repackaged over and over and over again. And what happens is brands start blending into each other. And that's one of the fastest ways to weaken your brand, because the moment that you start chasing what everyone else is doing, you lose the thing that made customers actually notice you in the first place. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways that are based on psychology to stand out without cutting prices, copying competitors, or just becoming one of those brands that everyone forgets. This is an important topic because once you've built up a brand, and it'll take a while to build up a brand online, but once you've built it up, it actually does all the heavy lifting in terms of who's going to come to you, who's interested in buying from you, who's going to convert. It does all that heavy lifting, so you certainly don't want people confusing you and one of your competitors. And as I said before, this is something I've seen again and again and again. Businesses drift away from what actually works for them, and they end up competing on price or convenience with a different business that has a very similar offer. So let's start with the first one. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes. You've got to stop reacting to every move your competitors make. A lot of businesses think watching competitors closely is like a really smart move, and it is to a point. Basically, you should know your market, you should know what's going on around you, but the problem comes in when every decision that you start making starts coming from what somebody else did. If you look at all the AI companies at the moment, OpenAI, Google, Anthropic with Claude, you can see that they start to copy each other. So one of them will launch something, and then OpenAI will feel this pressure to respond and make a change to ChatGPT. So for instance, Google Gemini will change their tone on how they say something, and then ChatGPT will copy it as well, because now OpenAI is starting to question their own tone as well. Anthropic and Claude start improving the coding side of things, and now ChatGPT wants to do exactly the same thing as well. And after a while, things just start to look the same, and as a member of the public and as a consumer, you just think to yourself, like, do I actually care which one I'm going to go for? I don't really know the ins and outs. They're all competing on internal different benchmarks. There's actually a famous example of this with Coca-Cola. So in the 1980s, Coca-Cola got really nervous about Pepsi gaining popularity, so they launched a new Coke. Now on paper, it made sense. Taste tests said people actually preferred this new Coke from Coca-Cola, but the customers actually hated it. Complaints ended up flooding in, sales dropped, and within 79 days they had to bring back the original. Now why was that the issue? It wasn't that the issue was the recipe, it was the fact that Coca-Cola actually messed something up that people already felt attached to. And we see the same with OpenAI and what they've done with the ChatGPT 4. When they started to bring out ChatGPT 5, they messed around too much and ended up putting people off because it was something that people had grown a familiarity with, a relationship with, even if technically on paper 5.0 is a better product. And that's what happens when decisions come from reaction instead of you being clear on what your customers actually want. Number 2, you've got to protect what makes your brand recognizable. And this is another mistake I see all the time with companies when I've got to help them with the psychology part of things. They start sanding down the parts which people actually liked about them. So they see competitors sounding more premium, more polished, more bold, and then they feel this pressure to also move in that direction as well. But that can go wrong actually really quickly. Some brands become easier to trust and easier to remember when they're actually consistent, because people like to be consistent. The principle is called the commitment and consistency principle, and that term comes from Robert Cialdini, who's the godfather of persuasion and behavioral science. So for instance, if the tone feels familiar, the style feels familiar, if the positioning feels familiar on your brand, people know what they're getting and they like that. But once that starts changing every few months, or brand's starting to pivot like this, the brand becomes harder to recognize. And that matters more than most people realize. From a behavioral science and persuasion point of view, a big part of persuasion actually comes down to memory. If people can't recall you or place you or explain what makes you different, you've basically made things really hard for yourself. So a simpler exercise that I would just do right now, doesn't matter what stage you're at with your business, is just to write down 3 things that genuinely make your brand distinctive from everyone else. It could be your tone, it could be the way you explain things, it could be like your visual identity, it could be how you communicate with the type of customers, and then you use that as a filter. So every new idea you ask, does this strengthen what I've currently got down on this piece of paper about myself at the moment, or does it water it down? And number 3, this is another key area to making your brand a bit stronger. It's about standing out. There's a principle in psychology, it's called the von Restorff effect. And basically what that means is things that stand out get remembered. Super obvious, right? But this matters a lot in crowded markets, which in 2026, a lot of markets are now crowded, right? As soon as a new business comes up, there's instantly 20 different businesses copying the same thing. So if every brand looks the same, it sounds the same, it makes the same promises, customers stop seeing any meaningful differences and everything just blurs together. There's a good example of this. In the UK, we have this bank called Monzo Bank, and for years, bank cards, if you look at your bank card, I'm sure my bank card's around here somewhere, but they're generally just like either blue or they're pretty dull, right? They're a bit forgettable. Then Monzo, this new bank on the block, started launching coloured cards, bright coral card, and it stood out instantly because people noticed it, they remembered it, they talked about it as well, and it became part of that brand. So if you look at your category of where you sit in business, you got to ask yourself, what does everyone else look like? What does everyone else sound like? What is everyone else promising on the experience of becoming a customer? And then you look for the contrast. Is there a way that you can stand out that still feels true to your brand? That could be a visual, a tone. I help this debt advice organization, the biggest in the UK, and basically they have such a great tone of voice that understands the shame people go through, how people want to be helped, that they just the top dogs every single time. And that is their positioning, that is how they can stand out, right? And so the goal for you is simple. You've got to give people something that they can recognize and remember. So if you want to stand out, you've got to stop reacting to your competitors. You got to stay close to your customers. Like, what do they actually want? And you got to protect the parts of your brands that people already recognize and make it easier for people to notice you and remember you, because once your brand starts blending in, it becomes actually very hard to stay valuable. That's where you get caught in price wars. That's where you get caught in convenience wars, and that's where you can't charge what you are actually worth. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to persuasion, when it comes to behavioral science. I've created another video which talks about a bunch of other persuasion mistakes that I see with different businesses when I'm consulting for them from a psychological angle on persuasion and behavioral science. I'll link that on the screen now, but click on that video and I will see you in that one. Take care.